All right, so let's talk about the business section. This is basically this is what I would like to call the risk section, right? How risky is this business? And all the stuff you're going to tell me next is going to help me determine my risk tolerance to invest in your business. All right, so first of all, how big is the market? What's your market size look like? So this is Isaac Saldana, the CEO, or one of the founders of SendGrid. And when SendGrid started, they had no idea how big their market size was because nobody had done what they were doing. So instead of using numbers that they thought weren't true, he talked about it in another way.
So how big is our market size? The companies you see here are email marketing companies, and they approximately send 100 million emails per day. Facebook alone dwarfs this market. They send over 500 million transactional emails per day. And there are many other companies sending transactional emails that don't have the resources Facebook has to deal with transactional email problems.
It's fucking huge. There are tens of thousands of companies sending hundreds of billions of trillions of email messages a day. If you could get a fraction of a penny for every one of those emails, you're going to be filthy rich. And you know what? They are. So are the investors. My point is, just because you don't know the market doesn't mean you can't talk about it in creative ways. But you need to communicate to me that it's a big opportunity. Right? Because look, if you're going to go after the underwater basket weaving market and there are like 3 people in the world, like you're not going to have a real business. Not a venture backable business anyway. Okay. So the business model. What's wrong with this slide? A lot of words. What else? Prices. No prices. Right. You know, it's always funny. It's usually not people don't pick up on that right away. It's usually the second or third thing that people pick up on. This happens less and less, but we used to see a lot of pitches without business model. But remember, I want to make money from you. If I can't see a path to how you are going to make money, I am not interested in investing in you. That doesn't mean that your business model has to be cash, because you might have a social play, or you might have some other type of business model that isn't necessarily enterprise sales, which is what these guys are. But my point is, you have to talk to me about it. You have to convince me that I am going to make money from your business. And whether that's through comparison of companies that have been acquired in your space, to companies that or companies that have IPO'd, to revenue numbers of comparable companies, right? To just pricing model. You need to talk to me about how I am going to have an exit here at some point. All right, differentiation. So a common mistake I see is entrepreneurs want to talk about competition. You want to sit up there and you want to talk about JDate, or you want to talk about Ancestry. And there's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, I don't care about JDate or Ancestry. What do I care about? Right. I care about how you're going to win. I care about why you're better than those guys. What's going to make you win in the market over them? That's a risk thing. Are you going up against Google? Holy shit. But if you show me all the ways that you're better, smarter, more powerful, whatever, I become way more interested. So this is another one with bad audio, but I think that that Dash did this well. So Dash is a company that also was in the New York 2013 program, and they have they basically make it a Fitbit for your car. So it's a little thing that plugs into the OBD2 port on your car, and it communicates with your phone, and it tells you how fast you're driving and things that are wrong with your car. It's like a Fitbit.
Now, we are unlike anything out there on the market today. We'll work on any make of car. We are hardware agnostic. You buy off-the-shelf hardware, you can pick it up for as low as $10 on Amazon or at Sears. Our product is multi-platform, and we do all of this with no monthly fees.
So let me talk a little bit about what's going on here, because it's not readily obvious. So first of all, there's just some psychology that's happening in this slide, which is, look, he's got his big logo right here, and he does list his competitors, but they're little tiny small logos at the bottom with his big logo on top, okay? Just a little psychology. Yes, we're better, okay? The second thing that he does is he doesn't shit on his competition. He talks about how he's better. He doesn't say, look, OnStar sucks because they only work with one make of car. And Automatic is only one platform, and by the way, they charge monthly fees. He doesn't say any of that. He talks about how he's better and how he's different, not about how they are bad. Does that make sense? We all hate politics. We hate election season because all the politicians do is rip on their competition. They never talk about themselves, right? You hate that about that. Don't be like that either. Talk about how great you are and how you're going to win. What makes you win in the market? Team. So I love talking about this slide. This is one of my favorites in the whole deck. So this is Next Big Sound. They went through the Boulder class in 2009, and they just sold to Pandora 9 months ago, something like that. When they were going through the Techstars program, they were literally graduating college. So they were going to University of Chicago at Booth, and they were flying to Boulder. They would do like a week of the program. They would fly back and take an exam, and they would fly back to Boulder and do more of the program. And they would fly back and graduate and fly back. So these guys were very young, and only one of them had actually ever held a real job, and it was Alex White, the CEO, and he held a 3-month internship at a record label. So when it came time to talk about the team, they were like, what do we talk about? We don't have anything to show for, right? What's special? Like, we don't know what to talk about. So here's what they did, which is incredibly clever. That picture, so when they were raising money, they wanted to raise $250,000, and they knew that they wanted to raise from Foundry Group. It's a local VC. You guys all know them. This picture is the exact same team photo that Foundry Group had on their website of the 4 Foundry partners. The guys, the Next Big Sound, posed in the exact same poses. They're wearing the same outfits in the exact same alley here in Boulder to take that photo. So when they stood up on demo day to talk about their team, who do you think in the audience got the joke? Foundry, but only Foundry, right? Foundry is the only group or the only people that got that joke. What do you think that communicates to Foundry? You're special, okay. Like, I think that communicates, I'm coming after you. We want you, right? But here's a couple other things it communicates. It's clever, right? It's creative. And as an entrepreneur, you have to be clever and creative to make this work. There's no formula for being a successful entrepreneur. So you have to use creativity and ingenuity, which is that. If you can be that creative about a team slide in a freaking deck, imagine how creative you can be with other real problems that your business is going to face. A big element of the pitch that very few companies put in there is timeline. If you have this really cool opportunity in that most investors will erroneously think that your company started when Techstars started, which I know isn't true, but leverage that. So you can show me these, wow, look at what we've done in the past 3 months. The stuff that you did before, it matters, but look at how much traction we have. Look at what we've accomplished. Because here's the message. This is the extrapolation from this slide, right? In 87 days, we integrated with 6 services, tracked 500,000 artists, recorded 130 million fan interactions. If we did that in 87 days, imagine what we could do in a year. Imagine what we could do in 3 years. We'll dominate the world. That's the extrapolation that I'm making. As an investor, I want to invest in teams that can execute. Prove to me that you have been able to execute. So traction, the same thing. Show me traction. This is just de-risking the investment for me, right? If you've got customers signed up, if you've got deals signed, if you've got revenue, this is de-risking it for me. I know these guys know how to sell. I know these guys know how to get out there. I know these guys know how to perform.